A few miles north of the town of Wrangell in southeast Alaska lies the Stikine River Delta, 16 miles wide and encompassing 27,000 acres. Brown, silt-laden water conceals alluvial mudflats, which must be navigated with experience and care, through channels which are unmarked and ever-changing. Among the maze of islands is Farm Island, which in the 1930s was home to hayfields and herds of cattle, supplying milk and dairy products to the fledgling town. To reach it means passing shallow areas, piled high with carcasses of grounded trees. The muddy shore is lined with logs to protect against erosion. Today, over 100 private land parcels provide away-from-it-all dwellings for those who seek such a lifestyle. It is now August, and the fireweed is past its prime. Moving upstream from the delta, the land starts to rise. The Stikine, around 400 miles in length and navigable 130 miles upstream from its mouth, is the only river which cuts through the coastal mountains. In its lower reaches, the Stikine has many side channels. In one, a trio of herons perch on a snag. Maximum water flow is in the latter half of June through July and August. It drops rapidly in September as ice begins to affect the upper reaches. By January the 1st, the river can be frozen sufficiently for surface travel. We make a brief excursion ashore to visit a small lake and see colorful wildflowers and berries. The catchment area of the Stikine exceeds 20,000 square miles, and more than 50 glaciers, John Muir put the figure at higher than 300, plus many streams and tributaries, feed into the river. This rather primitive and battered weather gauge measures the height of the river. High rainfall gives rise to mosses and rich vegetation. Mist hangs in the mountains and settles over the water. A side channel leads to Shakes Lake, where a fleet of imposing ice floes lies stranded in the shallows. Our jet boat, drawing less than 18 inches when underway, is skillfully piloted between them. We speed through the open waters of the lake to the mouth of a fast-flowing stream. From here we head towards the glacier face. Shakes Glacier is subject to precipitous retreat, as indicated in this chart. The eastern edge of the face already terminates on dry land, and it is hard to conceive how it could have carved the volume of ice we passed on our way in. Patches of dwarf fireweed add a splash of colour to the magnificent landscape. We reached the Canadian border, shown here as a yellow line. On the ground marked only by a slash in the trees, heading up to the mountain peaks. Here you are far from the amenities of what we consider to be civilization. We land on a temporary island, which exists only when the water level is low, as evidenced by the flow patterns in the sand. The current is strong, but 85 miles from here, just north of the small town of Telegraph Creek, is the 45-mile-long Grand Canyon, where the river reduces in width to just an astonishing 7 feet. To watch intrepid kayakers battle the maelstrom, visit YouTube and search for the Stikine River. After beachcombing for interesting pebbles, it is time for us to return downstream. Here also are numerous fallen trees, victims of erosion as the powerful river alters course and undercuts the banks. It seems we are not the only boat on the river today.